Hello YouTube family, this is Ravi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we are back on the new series, ServiceNow Integrations from Scratch. So we are learning ServiceNow Integrations from Scratch from today's sessions and it will be keep on continuing on the next sessions. So first today we'll see the basics, then we'll see the ServiceNow to ServiceNow integration, ServiceNow to third-party integration, ServiceNow to Jira, ServiceNow to AWS, ServiceNow to any tool you choose, which is currently free in the market, we will do an establish an integrations concept over there with the help of ServiceNow. So today's topic will be the basics, how we are going to do with integration and how we are going to start with it and where we have to start. That's the important point which we are going to consider in this particular topic. ServiceNow integrations. To explain you what integration is and why we need integrations, so I will have to take you to Paint. And let me draw something. So let's suppose this is ServiceNow Cloud. And let's say there's another ServiceNow Cloud or any other tool. For example, this is another tool. Or let's suppose one more tool. Okay. Now I'll explain you in this manner. Let's open snipping tool. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What is integration first of all? Integrations are nothing but we will do a handshake. Let's say you are meeting some people. Let's say today you are meeting your friend. You are doing a handshake. What you are doing? You are transferring your energy from your soul to another soul. Correct? So transferring and gaining of information from two different objects is called an integration. And it can be anything. So in the real time, when I explain you, integration is nothing but to share the data or share the information from one system to another system through a separate medium. Okay? Share the information between two objects, or you can say that two systems together, and they can communicate with each other. Like currently what we are doing, you are listening to my videos. Maybe you are using YouTube browser or from YouTube from your phone. What is that? It's an interface. YouTube provide you an interface where you are going to connect with me with the help of the YouTube links. Correct? So the real time also, when you are talking to someone, you are having an interface between. For example, let's take suppose this is WhatsApp account 1, and let's say this is WhatsApp account 2 of your friend. Okay. Now you want to connect with your friend. First of all, you want to talk to your friend. What you need? Obviously, you need their phone number. First step. So we are sending a message from one phone to another phone, or you are sending a message from your WhatsApp account to your another WhatsApp account or to your friend account. Let's say I'm sending hi message to this particular WhatsApp account. So this WhatsApp account has full authority to reply me back or not to reply me back. Correct? So if he is replying me back, it means that he is giving me response. If he is not replying back, it means that he is not giving me response. Correct? So in integrations, this matters. Response matters. If you are receiving a response, it means that it is a success response. If you are not receiving a response, it's called a failure response. So integration is nothing but establish a communication between the two devices or two objects or two networks or two systems so that they can exchange their information. So in our course, or you can say that in this series integration, we will connect ServiceNow with ServiceNow or ServiceNow with any third party. And we'll try to share the information and we'll try to get the information from that system. So if you see here on WhatsApp, if you are trying to send any information, hi message, what you are doing? You are doing a request. Correct. And if you are doing a request, the second person who is sitting at W2, WhatsApp 2, he can reply you back. That is a response. So in ServiceNow or any other integration stuff, we have two things, request and response. So let me open this notepad. So this is our notepad. Now what we need, if you see this image, let me again explain you in a better way. So let me explain you in one more other way. So for example, this is ServiceNow instance 1, S1. And let's say this is ServiceNow instance 2. This is Jira. And this is, let's suppose, AWS. Okay. Now we want to connect to all this system separately or together. It's all up to our requirement how we are going to do it. So in upcoming series, we will see Jira, AWS, and ServiceNow to ServiceNow. But the most important point is you should connect to this system. To establish a connection for other systems, always remember few points to be taken in consideration. So let me open my notepad. So we are already on the notepad, and what we will type. Okay, first thing which we need is this connect with that system. Obviously, we do need their endpoints. Endpoints means endpoints. Endpoints basically means URL. URL, you know that, address. Like when you are talking to your friend, what you need? You need phone number, correct? Without phone number, you cannot talk to the person. Similarly, without connection, we cannot, without endpoint, we cannot hit that URL, we cannot go to our web page. For example, if I go to Google, if I type here google.com, so what we are getting? We are getting a web page of Google, correct? So we are hitting the URL. This is nothing but called endpoint. So similar to this endpoint, we will have our ServiceNow endpoint, Jira endpoint, AWS endpoint. Once we receive this endpoint, the second thing which will be most important part taken in consideration is the authentication details. Authentication. Authentication. Slash, sometime we used to say that authorization. What is this authorization authentication? Let me take you to some website. So let's say facebook.com. Okay, we are hitting the URL of Facebook. Now they are asking me for my email address and the password. What is this? This is called authentication details. They're asking me to put my username and the password, credentials. So basically remember, whenever we use any endpoint to connect with it, we need a basic authentication details. Basic authentication means user ID, username or ID, whatever, or password. Now, these details will be given to you by your customer, password and user ID. Or they might give you token. Or you can say that there's another type of authentication is OAuth. We'll talk about it in the upcoming session, what is OAuth 2.0. So these are the different type of authentication you will be using in ServiceNow. So we'll be using basic, we will be using token. Anyone, I don't know whether you guys have seen this device or not, RSA token. If you see this device, it generates a random number within 30 seconds, it will generate in random number. So this kind of a token devices are now very common. Like in our phone, we have a Microsoft Authenticator app. What we do, we used to put that 6-digit number every time when we log into something. That is called authorization. So once we are done with authorization, the third part is our request. What is request? As I told you, let's connect to this system. Let's say I'm telling this ServiceNow to, hey ServiceNow, I want some information from you. So what we are doing, we are requesting. Okay, so we are requesting something that is called a request. So every request, remember guys, every request has the body. That is called request body. And what is request body? Basically, we cannot send data directly. Data has some dedicated format, particular format, which you have to use to send data from one system to another, or you can use the same data format at anywhere. Like if you see Excel sheet has a data format of row and column, correct? Similarly, every request, every response, every request body, the body which you are going to send, the message which you are going to send. Currently, if you see, this is WhatsApp. If hi message you are sending over here and it is receiving at your friend's end, this will be encrypted end to end. Why? Nobody can view your message, hi, except your friend. In the middle, there's an encryption which convert hi into some X, Y, Z, A, B, C, some other kind of a language. That is called encryption. Okay, basically they use SHA algorithm. You can go back and check what is SHA algorithm which WhatsApp is using. So these two data are encrypted. Okay, so in the middle, nobody can read this. Similarly, every request has a format. And remember, there are two formats which we will be using. Is first format is JSON and second format is XML. And now, maybe I am just telling you from very basics. So I will be telling you JSON. Maybe most of you might know JSON, but basically JSON format look like this. You have one curly braces on, curly braces off, and whatever you give between those two curly braces will be your key and the value pair. It is a format of data, and this format of data is called JSON. If you see the full form of it, it's JavaScript object notation. So basically, we are dealing with here key value pair. Key and the value. Key means here you will have a lock, you will have a key. So one lock will have one key and there can be a duplicate key, but lock will remain same. For one lock, there will be one key. So here, key in ServiceNow is nothing but column. So if I take you to ServiceNow, for example, let me go back. Not this. Yeah, let me log it back. See, we are doing authentication only, admin credentials and the password. Okay, so you don't have to worry on this. These details are shared with the customers, shared by customers to you developers. So if I type your incident, for example, open the incident. So what is key called here in terms of JSON in ServiceNow? Keys are nothing but column name. Column name is, the column name of number is small number. How I am so sure that the column name of number is small number? You can open any incident record. I have taught all this in my previous sessions. Right click and you will notice the backend name is number. So if I come back to this notepad, here we can write like this. Backend name of number and the value INC0012. So this is called key value pair. Okay, trust me, JSON is relatively fast as compared to XML and they are used now. Most of the client customers are using only JSON because of their format. It is easy to read. But the same thing, if I write in XML, we have to write their headers, their internal body structure, then number, and then we have to end it. That's the reason people are moving towards JSON. So JSON is a object notation. So we are notating number with a value. So JSON will always come with a value pair. So where JSON is used, JSON is always used in transferring the data or getting the data from third party in the form of response or in the form of request. I mean, when I want to access anything from third party, let's say we are going to access it from ServiceNow 2 and ServiceNow 1 we are having. So I want some information for S2. So S2 will send a response back in the form of JSON. And whatever we are sending also is in the form of JSON, JavaScript object notations. And it consists of key value pair. So we have a key and we have a value. One key, one value, one-to-one mapping. We cannot have duplicate number over here. That might cause an issue. So JSON. Now XML, if you talk, ServiceNow use support XML also. ServiceNow support JSON also. Now I will show you how XML look like. So what I will do is, let me take you this one. Okay, right click anywhere. And you have this option called export to XML. See how XML look like. Let me download this. So it's 272 rows, not take much time. Okay, it's loaded. Okay. Yeah, let's open this and you will notice XML look little different. It kind of a hierarchical structure, tree-like a structure where you have your header on the top, means root on the top, and you have the branches. So see, this is called root, which is nothing but the header format. If I copy this, put it over here, go to our notepad. Second is your date and everything. So these three lines, okay, let me just click here, get copy and paste. What you notice is these three lines will remain same on the top, whatever is written. Always it will be, you have to give these three lines. Then it comes like this: number value INC001, and then again you have to close the number. Now you guys pause this video and tell me which one is easy to understand, the first one or second one. Obviously first one, not the second one. The second one is relatively slow as compared to JSON. The reason is JSON is easy to use and it's comparatively fast because it will come to this loop and read this number and it will give you the number. Similarly here, it will not read this, it will read first line, then second line, then third line, and then it will give you the number. That's the reason JSON are faster as compared to XML. Okay. So we have seen why JSON and XML are relatively different. Does the same thing, but these two are very different stuff. One uses only key value fair concept, another uses these many stuff where you have your header, where you have your internal body, then you have to give your number. So remember, better to use JSON. You can use XML also. These two are the format of data because data cannot left as it is. It has to be in some format. So ServiceNow supports two formats, JSON and XML, where you will send the data either in the form of JSON and other in the form of XML if you are doing any kind of integrations. So I recommend you to go with the JSON. And whenever somebody is using JSON, the terms which is used is REST, representational state transfer. It means that, let me go back to my image. So how the states are getting transferred from one system to another system with the help of JSON, REST, so state transfer protocol, representational state transfer protocol. That is called a REST message, REST. Basically, if we have two devices, one device, second device, how the data are being transferred from one system to another is given by the term called REST. That's why you might have seen in the most of the videos, or maybe you might have seen in the documentation page, representation state transfer is sending the data from one system to another system. I can show you this diagram on Google. Just type your REST means, if I go to image, REST API, you will notice we have your REST API over here. And from here, the states are transferred between the two devices. Currently, it is server side, is the client side. We'll talk about it, what is server side and the client side. But the real time, it uses the JSON. Send the data from your device to other third party within some mechanism. That's what we are going to see in our series. So remember, REST is representational state transfer protocol that will allow you to send data from one side to the another side of the system. Let's go back over here. Now we are done with the REST body. And remember, data is having two formats, REST and JSON and XML. JSON use REST and XML use same SOAP. That message is called SOAP message. I'll talk about this separately in the upcoming videos, but I'm just telling you these are the prerequisites needed to start with any kind of integration. Prerequisites. Okay. I hope you are able to understand. If you are not able to understand, do ping me in the comment section. I reply to each and every one. Now, REST, JSON, XML, these comes with a method. What kind of a method you are using. So in ServiceNow or in any other tool, not even ServiceNow, in Spring Boot, STS, JavaScript, anywhere you go, we have these four. CURD. These are called method. And if English, if you see, this is called curd or crud. People used to say CRUD. I used to say curd because you can remember it by Indian yogurt. Okay, so C is for create, U is for update, read is to read, and D is to delete. It means that you can perform these operations on any of the devices. You can connect and you can perform all this operation. So these are called HTTP methods. What is HTTP? Hypertext protocol. I will not going to teach you what is HTTP. That is a Google part. You can go back and Google it. These are called protocols which are being used in any kind of a methods in ServiceNow and any other tool. So C is for create. So if you are creating something, you are going to use create. And in ServiceNow or in REST API term, it's called post. POST. Post means you are posting something. Let's say you are uploading an image on Facebook. What you are doing, your image will be converted into readable format and it will be again converted back to the viewable format. So you can view that image. In the real time, if you take an example of Facebook, if you try to upload the pictures, let's say Instagram, if you try to upload the pictures over there, click on the plus sign, it will take your device. It will go into your device phone gallery and pick the photo. That photo will be ideally converted into base64. In the upcoming session, we will see what is base64, how we'll convert image and then we'll convert base64 to the image back. We'll convert it and we'll upload the picture on the website of Instagram. That is called post. If you're trying to update something, that is called patch. You might have heard about patch or put. Patch means or put means is to update something. Let's say you are using Android phone, and Android system has given you a notification that upgrade your instance because there are few patches or updates are available. That is called patching. It can be security update, it can be your device performance issue, they will fix it through update. So if there are less number of update, we will go with patch. If there are large number of update, they will go with the put. Both are used to update. Read means get an information, GET, and D is for delete only. So remember, these are the list of methods which we will be using while doing a request part. That is called request body, and the request body will do HTTP method. So when we will use JSON and XML? Only in case of post or update. So if you are updating something, you are going to use a JSON format only, which you are going to send an update. If you are going to update only, you will be using JSON or XML. Remember this. So JSON and XML both uses create and post and patch, both they uses JSON and XML. Get information is you are getting information. So here response will be coming up, and delete means delete only. So these are the first, second, third, and the last is your response, which is important. So once you hit this URL, obviously you will receive a response. So response is of two types, success and fail. Now, what is success? So you might have seen this kind of a code, 200, 201, 202, dot, dot, 299. So whenever you get a code between 200, 299, is treated as a success code. And if you get a code something like 400, page not found, 400, 404, 400 bad request, 404, page not found, 500, internal server error. This kind of a response you are getting between 599, these are treated as a failure response. So how I am so sure that these are the things which is available? Let's go to Google and ask HTTP codes. These are called HTTP codes, which is universally defined. If you are using Servicenow, if you're using anything, doesn't matter, these codes are universally defined. So go back to the first one, and you will notice successful response is between 200 and failure is between 4 to 599. So remember, responses is of two types, success and fail. And these codes are called HTTP code, which is universal. Now let me give you a live example. From your, you can say from your browser, just press Ctrl+Shift+I button together. That will open this inspect element, okay? Ctrl+Shift+I, or you can go to this part also. More tool, go to the developer tool. Okay, more tool, developer tool. Now here, just click on the network. Okay, and click on this. It's all filtered. Just I am typing here www.google.com. What you will notice, I am getting a response from Google. See status code. Scroll up. Google.com is giving me a status code of 200. This is nothing but we are getting a success response from Google. That's why we are able to see the web page. Now, what will happen if I type /v1/Ravi? There's no website called v1/Ravi. If I press enter key, you will notice I am getting a response called 400, which is page not found, error response. See? So these kind of responses you will be getting if you hit a particular URL. So what are the basic details we need? We need endpoints, we need authentication, we need request body, and then we need response back. So let me give you a live example with the help of a tool called Postman. Okay, so you can go to the Postman website, or you can go to postman.com. Do one thing, download this Postman. It is currently free. If you download this Postman, it will look something like this. Okay. Where you have to put URL, where you have to choose the method which you will be using, and you have other options. So when you get this Postman, make sure that you are clicking on this plus sign on the top so that it will give you a blank screen like this. Okay. So once you get this Postman in your device logged in, today I'm showing you with Postman. Next class will show you with Servicenow. We will create REST message. As of now, as very simple, we will follow all these 4 steps and we'll see whether it is working or not. So let's go back. What we need the endpoint. How to get the endpoint? So here it is Postman tool and this is my ServiceNow tool. So how to get my ServiceNow endpoint? See, endpoint is written on the top only. dev86573.servicenow.com. But ServiceNow has defined its own endpoint to use that endpoint for any integration. So how we can get any endpoints? Click here and just type REST API Explorer. Once you type API Explorer, you will get this option called REST API Explorer under System Web Service. Open this REST API Explorer and you will find your URL right away. So for the first time, you will get an option called Explore. Click on Explore, you will come to this page. And now you have all these options: create, retrieve, modify. So let's say where the URL got you over here. Copy this and give it to your third party. So I give it this URL, http dev86570.servicenow.com/API/now/table, and we have to provide the table name from which, if we are using get information, from which table we are trying to get an information. So let's suppose I am opening any particular, can say restaurant. There's a restaurant table, okay? And I want information from restaurant table. Second requirement is authentication. So now I will be using but in the real time, remember guys, you don't have to use admin credentials. You have to create a user and give them access. That part we'll see in the next class. As of now, how we'll get the admin credentials? So if I log out and log in back, you will notice the first web page with ServiceNow is asking you to put the admin credential, same admin credential I have given. Over here, if I go to the Postman, sorry. So where I have to do authorization, what type of authorization you are using? I will be choosing basic. And what you can choose auth1, auth2, API key or token. So these are details will be given to you by your customers, which authentication they are using. If they use token, you have to give the token name, token number. Similarly, I'm using username and the password. So I will be using basic auth, and we will be using OAuth 2.0. If we use OAuth 2.0, all the details will be given to you by your customer. So I will pause this video so that I don't want to share my username and the password. So I will click on this and I will put the password. So I will be stop the video for a few minutes. I'll come back. So once you put the password, so I have already put the password, guys. So what we have to do is we'll go back to the endpoint part. Endpoint is done, authentication done. Now request body. Request body is only needed when we use post or patch. For read, we don't need. So we don't need to put any body. So we'll leave as it is and now just send it. So we'll send this request to ServiceNow, and now from ServiceNow, we will be getting a response. See, the status code is coming as 200 and we are getting a JSON body. See, let me zoom it. What we are getting? Choose your food, veg platter, $10. All these options are coming up, guys. You can see Control A, copy, and let me go back and paste it over here. Just look like this. All the records, first record from here to here, second record is coming up. So there are 2 records. If you don't believe this, go back to restaurant table. We have only 2 records. Let's open the first record, veg platter. So veg platter, it is of $10. You can see over here. So this is my custom table which I have created. You can see the restaurant name, eat, sleep, repeat. If I go back to the response which I copied, you can see veg, $10, food picture, the society, restaurant name, everything is coming up. So we get details about that particular record on the table. So we are getting a response in the form of JSON. Remember this. And what is this? See, column name and the value. Go back. See, column name. Right click. You underscore choose the food column and the value name is veg. See, it's coming up. Similarly, food cost tax, $10. See, including tax, $10. So this is nothing but key value, column, and then this value, column, and this value. That is called your get information. So we are using this technique, same technique. You will be using the real time also to get any information from any client. In the next video, I will show you how to use through ServiceNow internal REST message. As of now, I'm showing you this through Postman. Second, let's create a record. So how to create a record? So to create a record, what I have to choose? I have to choose request body. Okay, where is the body? First, we'll choose the method called post and body. In the body, you have to choose raw because we are pasting our own body. Click on raw and choose the option called JSON from text. Now here we will start getting our body. If your customer has given you the body, you can directly paste it. For example, I will be pasting this body only. So choose the food. Okay, 10. I'll copy these three. Okay, and I'll paste it over here. Let me remove this, and remove this. Okay. So if I send this body back to my service now, what I will be getting? I will be getting a record created on the restaurant tables. If I go back, how many records are there? Only two. Now, what I will show you, if I send the record, a record will be created. Let me show you. Go back. Instead of veg, let's select something else. So what we have? Non-veg. So what is the backend name of non-veg? Right click, configure dictionary. And let's go down. You will find the backend name. Choices is there. So backend name of non-veg is non-veg. I'll copy this non-veg. I'll go to my Postman and I'll paste it here non-veg. That's it. No space. Now you will notice there's an error sign coming up. So if you send this kind of a body where error is coming, you will get an error. What is that error? Bad request. See, the payload is not a valid JSON. This payload which we are sending is not a valid JSON. Why? We will never give comma at the last. Comma is only given first, second, and when you are ending it, you don't have to give comma. Just now send it. Now you should get a record created and this 201 created. It means that because record has been created. If I go to the restaurant table, refresh the page, see non-veg platter is created. I have not put the address. That's the reason it's not created. But what I put only pictures and cost. You will notice here, mandatory details are also not filled. Still the record is created. And there's a catch, guys. You should never do like this. And your company will have a data policy in place. Currently, we have not studied data policy. We will talk about it very soon on that data policy. So don't worry on that. How the record is getting created if it is mandatory. So there's a technique called data policy. Data policy will apply to your record when you are loading a data from outside source. And if you make this mandatory, nobody is going to use it. You will get an error. In the next video, I will show you. So first we'll create a data policy and then we'll create a record. As of now, just see the record is created because there's no data policy on that table. Clear? Okay. Now, same technique you have to apply, guys. Now we have to update non-veg. I don't have to update all this. Let's say I have to update 10 to 100 and food picture, leave this as it is. Remove the comma. So I have to update only the price of the product, a price of the product for that record which is created. So how we can do that? We will use a technique called patch or put. We will use anything, but it is recommended to use patch if we have less number of record. If you have more number of record, go with put. So I'll use patch and let's send it. You will get an error. So this now is confused now. Where to update? We have not tell my postman, hey postman, go to Servicenow table and update it. Where to update? They get confused. There are 3 records. If you see, there are 3 records. Which record to update? They don't know. Correct? So in this case, guys, let me go back first. Yeah, so it has to be updated. No, not this. It has to be updated with $100. But how? So we have to pass this record sysid. Copy this. Go to the postman and put here /sysid. And now send. I get a response 200. Go back. See, 100 is updated. So correct. So you have to mention which record to update. So you have to give the sysid of that record. Again, I'm saying you. If I change it to, let's say, 500. And if I don't give the sysid here, ServiceNow will confused which record to update. So it will throw an error in this side. Response method not allowed. Now I have to tell my postman, hey postman, okay, I forget to mention the sysid of that record which I want to update. So I'll put the sysid. I'll go to this record. I'll copy this and I'll put it. And then send it. So you will notice status 200, correct? See, 500 is updated. So we have integrated two systems. This is only one way as of now, because this is an introductory session of integration. So the upcoming session we'll see two-way also. Okay, don't worry on that. The last option is delete. You can delete the record. Now again, if I remove this and if I try for delete, we don't need body. We only need body for post and put and post and put patch. We don't need for delete. So what I will do is I'll send it. Again, it will throw me an error. ServiceNow will tell, okay, which record to delete. I cannot delete a table for you. Table cannot be deleted by any of the APIs because table is a database of ServiceNow. Correct? Everything in ServiceNow is table only. So you cannot delete the table, man. So what you have to do is you have to give again the sysid. If I give the sysid, if I click on send now, you will notice 204 is coming up, which is no content. Now there's no content. It means that it is deleted. Let's go back, refresh the page. No record found, record not found. Yeah. So this is how we have performed all these four operations: create, update, read and delete with the help of a simple tool called Postman. And we remember in the next video, when we are back, we'll do ServiceNow to ServiceNow integrations. There we will not use Postman. We will use ServiceNow one tool, another tool ServiceNow, and then we'll use the technique of REST message. So that will be in the next class. So I hope you got some idea on how integration is working in ServiceNow. If there is any interview for anyone, they can go ahead and get the interview. Using this concept only, we are going to do any kind of integration, which is ServiceNow to ServiceNow, be it ServiceNow to Jira, third party, AWS, Salesforce, doesn't matter. We have to follow this process and you will be doing it. That's all on the today's part. I hope you like this video. If you really like this video, do subscribe and all the best. Thank you.